know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums, but I didn't use knowledge to collect what? The way real open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you, despite the system trying to clamp down on the people. The people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to see us, homeboy, shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities, several different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Testimony, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey, kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas, go figure. It's the card, they call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I be the parallel to the fiction. You fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange the whole concept. You was good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics, just atomic. Bees like a bonnet, cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the Bugatti type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in a prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just bury. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Splatter, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. Father him, the one who protects ya, and the mother, she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature, the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture.
Epstein files, including interviews with a woman who leveled accusations against Donald Trump. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal now both have confirmed reporting by NPR and MS Now that the Department of Justice has withheld dozens of pages of FBI memos and notes of interviews with a woman who accused Epstein and Trump of sexually assaulting her as a minor. Records confirm the woman had 4 interviews with investigators, but only documents from one of those meetings made it into the public release. The Epstein Files Transparency Act requires the DOJ, requires by law, to release most Epstein-related files and explicitly forbids withholding files to avoid embarrassing public figures. In a statement, the DOJ said it is reviewing files and, quote, should any document be found to have been improperly tagged in the review process and is responsive to the act, the department will, of course, publish it consistent with the law. MS Now senior legal reporter.
I mean, Yo, it's so hilarious. It's like now another excuse, now another thing. Now we're going to promise that. I mean, this is just the repeat over and over again.
Statement: the DOJ said it is reviewing files and quote,
yeah, again, you're reviewing files again to see what happened this time again.
Should any document be found to have been improperly tagged in the review process and is responsive to the act, the department will, of course, publish it consistent with the law. MS Now senior legal reporter Lisa Rubin reports during the Epstein files review process, the Justice Department.
But again, it's like a slap in the face. I mean, come on. At this point, it's basically like saying you just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. It doesn't matter what the law says. We're trying our best. And as long as you're okay with waiting, then that's just fine with us.
Was tracking the very type of document that now.
I mean, obviously, citizens can't force them to do anything outside of vote, right? So they have to wait till when? November. That's when citizens have to wait till an impeachment. Before an impeachment, you will not get those Epstein files. That's basically what this administration is saying. Of course, they're not coming out and offering that to people, but it seems like that's what's happening. You're not getting them. You're being promised you'll get them, but you're still not getting them. And then the next week you get promised again.
Was missing. In a memo last month, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche ordered all department workers who were reviewing files to tag documents that include specific information. One of the types of documents Blanche required to be tagged by workers is called a 302. That is the form that the FBI uses to memorialize interviews, the same type of document that is missing from Donald Trump's accuser. President Trump has denied any wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. Meanwhile, former President Bill Clinton and his wife, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, are set to testify in a House investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. This morning, Hillary Clinton will give a deposition behind closed doors. Bill Clinton is scheduled to testify tomorrow. It comes after months of haggling between the couple's lawyers and leaders of the House Oversight Committee, which voted unanimously to issue a subpoena for their testimony back in July. Bill Clinton's ties to Epstein, including 4 flights on Epstein's jet in 2002 and 2003, as well as photos in the files released by the Justice Department, are central to the committee's interest. Hillary Clinton, however, did not travel with Epstein and had said she never even spoke with him and only met his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, a handful of times. There is no evidence of wrongdoing on the part of either Clinton when it comes to
and here, according to the logic, right? According to the logic of Trump supporters, because they said this often, Trump supporters said if there were anything in the files about Trump, Biden's administration would have released them. So now it's the shoe is on the other foot. Now Trump administration now that has control, total, complete, and utter control over the files. And according to their logic, if there was anything about Hillary Clinton, anything else about Bill Clinton, if there was anything that could prove to you without any doubt that could prove and get a criminal indictment, wouldn't they do it? According to their logic? Yo, Dylan, what's up? Wouldn't they do it? You know what I'm saying? Yo, Rainbow, what's up? How you doing? What's up, my fellow outcasts? Yeah, and unconventionals. Absolutely. Yeah, welcome back. Look at this. This is ridiculous. It's like the shoe's on the other foot now. If there was anything that could indict Hillary Clinton or anything that proves she's guilty, they would release it, right? Why wouldn't they release it? Come on. They must not have nothing. If there was anything there, they would have released it, right? Okay.
Epstein, Joe. So Hillary Clinton, Joe, deposed today. Bill Clinton deposed tomorrow. Hillary Clinton's name, yes.
Just waiting around for them files, Rainbow.
Is
just waiting around for them files.
In the Epstein files hundreds of times because Jeffrey Epstein clipped articles about the 2016 election and would send them to friends. Talked in one instance, told a friend he would have no luck setting up a meeting with Hillary Clinton because he didn't have a relationship with her, didn't know her well enough. So she is very, very tangentially related to the Epstein files.
Yeah, it's so remote in this whole.
That's a lie, man. She's guilty. But if she was guilty, why didn't the Trump administration just release the files on her?
Issue that Jonathan Lemire, it
I mean, surely if she was guilty, they would do that, right?
really does just completely expose, totally expose Comer and the Republicans here, show what bad faith operation.
I mean, why don't they just invite the people that they know are in that were visiting little people? Why don't they invite those people to start with? Then why don't they invite the employees? Why don't they invite all the employees? Wouldn't the employees that work for Jeffrey Epstein be the ones that saw people come in and out? Wouldn't they be the ones in proximity to any wrongdoing? Like, doesn't Jeffrey Epstein have security around him at all times? Or is he just somebody you can bum rush? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Can you just bum rush Jeffrey Epstein's fucking apartment in Manhattan? Can you just bum rush his ranch? Zorro Ranch, Zorro, whatever the hell it's called, El Zorro Rancho. Can you just bum rush it? Can you just bum rush Epstein Island? Or does he have security there watching over the place 24/7? Why don't they just, interview those people? I mean, come on. It's also a crime if they lie. It's still a crime if they lie. So,
Raiders
I don't know.
been in this.
Doesn't seem like any employees are in legal jeopardy around Jeffrey Epstein. But look, if this was a drug investigation, every goddamn employee that worked inside of a building where there was any drugs would be considered a person possibly guilty of conspiring, just right off the bat. I mean, they're not going to miss the people around them. They're actually going to start there.
So-called investigation where you have with Hillary Clinton somebody.
I really love it when they say Hillary Clinton because, listen, I'm not really a fan of Hillary Clinton. I don't have any special feelings about Hillary Clinton. I wasn't utterly impressed by Hillary Clinton, right? But it just seems kind of cool to just say her name because I know that the right hates her. They spend years hating her. I mean, people were saying she was drinking baby blood on Epstein Island. Where the fuck is the baby blood videos? Why don't they release the baby blood videos? Why don't they release the videos? Show us the videos. Certainly, if she was drinking baby blood, Trump would release it, right? I mean, I don't know. To me, there's been so many conspiracies thrown out there just regularly and without stop. It's as soon as you get to one point that you can't prove, then another theory comes up. But then maybe it was because of this. Let me see this. Rainbow says, let me see. Rainbow Kitty Com. Had anyone seen Bisley? No. But I'm glad you asking. I haven't seen her since she got sick earlier this month. Absolutely. Yeah, girl, if you can read this, you better not be deceased. I really hope not. As a matter of fact, I wrote her like once and I didn't get a mail back, but I mean, I'm just going to write again. Yeah. But, I hope Bits is okay. She's in that Arizona region. So a lot is going on in Arizona, but I hope that she is okay straight up, really. But thanks for bringing that up. No doubt.
That again,
no doubt.
Hardly ever spoke to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, we miss you, Bits.
Never on his plane. Had next to nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. She's being deposed today.
Oh, shit. She's being deposed. Right. So Hillary Clinton is being deposed. So that's what happened earlier and blah, blah, blah. That's the lead up. Now, let's see what they say halfway through. This is the first we'll get to hear about it. And I think they're still in the deposition live. So let's see here.
Thank you. I'm Ranking Member Robert Garcia for Oversight Democrats. I'm going to make some brief statements, as will my colleagues, and then perhaps a question or two, and then we're going to get back to the deposition. As a reminder, this deposition has now gone on for about 2 hours, 2 hours plus 2.5 hours, and so it will continue throughout the day. And so, I'm going to be also respectful of not being specific, but we do have some overall statements to make. And a lot of this obviously ties into what the Secretary has already put out herself in her opening statement. Just want to begin by just clarifying and putting emphasis on something that's very important, and it's something the Secretary herself has said. Secretary Clinton never met Jeffrey Epstein. She never visited the island. She never flew on his plane. She also had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crime. So zero knowledge of any wrongdoing. And you've also all heard that directly from her. Secretary Clinton is also completely cooperating with the deposition and the committee, and is answering questions in full faith and in good faith. What is not acceptable is oversight Republicans breaking their own committee rules that they established with the secretary and her team, which you've all reported and you've seen by releasing photos. Not acceptable, and it was gracious of the secretary and her team to continue the deposition. What we also want to say at this very moment is it's becoming more clear every single day is the questions continue to build around this DOJ and the White House and the focus of the majority. We want to understand right now where the missing FBI files are. These are files that accuse the President of the United States about serious accusations around sexual abuse. And the fact that they're not in the files and have been apparently either removed or discarded is incredibly concerning. And so we're calling on Attorney General Pam Bondi to immediately release those files. And lastly, I want to also add...
I mean, what is it like? It's like a month in now, isn't that right? A month or so into, maybe it's almost 2 months now. They were supposed to have the files released this February. Well, it's at least a month. It's a month now. The files aren't released. I'm going to look that up. Yeah, and I did pull up that frazzle drip. I'm going to make it, we're going to review that in a second, Randy.
That this committee has now set a new precedent.
Yeah, Ellen, Jose. Yeah, why would they tell the truth? I mean, I'm not expecting them to tell the truth about anything. I don't expect nothing. You know what I mean? And but here's the thing: you could always hold people accountable for what they say. Yeah, QAnon BS, exactly. That is Dylan, but it's worth going through it because when you bring it up, a lot of people don't know all the details of it. But check this out. This is ridiculous because, I mean, all you have to do is hold anyone to what they say. Hold any politician. It doesn't matter if they're a Democrat or Republican. Just hold them to what they say. Trump, and also not just politicians, the appointees. Kash Patel said he was going to release the files. Everybody knows that. Kash Patel said he'd do it on day one. Kash Patel said the list was on the FBI head of the FBI, the director's desk. He would be the one who has it. Kash Patel said all of that shit. Kash Patel didn't do it. Pam Bondi, same thing. There's even a law that says you have to release everything except the names. I mean, basically, except the names of the victims. So the sex trafficking victims, everybody else is supposed to be released. They still, unless it's top secure, unless it's something about national security, which they say it isn't, which espionage should be. I don't get it. But, would they admit that Trump is a fucking, being blackmailed by Putin? Would they admit Trump is being blackmailed by maybe Netanyahu? Would they, if that's happening, would they admit it? Probably not. Probably not. Because it would make them look like some goddamn fools and Trump would have to go immediately, right? That would be the answer to it. But
to presidents and former presidents. And we're demanding immediately that we ask President Trump
facts, Ellen,
to testify in front of our committee and be deposed
or
in
Eileen,
front of oversight Republicans
safety
and Democrats. And that should happen immediately. He is the person that appears almost more than anyone else in the committee, and it needs to happen right now.
Mr. Chairman, do you distinguish at all between a president and a former president and a sitting president? I mean, is there something in there? Because they will say, wait a minute, we know what the court ruled on his immunity.
We should depose the person that is mentioned in the Epstein files almost more than any other person next to Ghislaine Maxwell, and that's Donald Trump.
Mr. Rankin,
we're gonna have a couple comments, and then we're gonna.
Because if Donald Trump gets deposed, that basically means everyone else who's mentioned less, who's a president, must be deposed also, right? So far, Donald Trump doesn't want to be deposed about it. I mean, it's crazy. He's the best friend. He's the guy that's been there closer than anybody else, longer than anybody else. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
I'm gonna answer a couple questions.
Thank you. House Republicans need to get serious about this investigation. I understand now fully why Secretary Clinton wanted to make.
Yeah, I'm settling for. Yeah, I see that, Ellen. I'm settling for make a case against anybody at this point. I'm just like, I don't believe for 1 second they're going to release these goddamn files. Not until somebody is impeached. Yeah, I just think as long as Trump is in office, you ain't getting no files.
The reality is,
I mean, technically how it works is to get those files, as long as his appointees, which he hasn't fired his appointees for not releasing the files. So that means he approves of their work so far and them slow walking the files out, which is the same as not releasing it, because once the law says you got to do it by this day, that's what the law meant. They haven't done that. So you don't know what date, they're not even giving you a date. That they even said they done releasing files. That's it. So, there's only one thing, and that's impeachment. And that's going to change anything. And we could see Congress and the Senate. They're just still not totally ready. They're waiting for an angel to come down and save Donald Trump. Essentially, they're waiting for a nuclear bomb to, hit Washington, D.C. so nobody has to release shit. Basically, I mean, it sounds like that's what they're doing. They're waiting for anything, something abstract, anything that can happen. Jesus, maybe. Could Jesus come back and stop these files? I mean, they're waiting for anything, man.
Wrong person today. Who we should be talking to instead are people who are actually mentioned in the files. People who have made misleading statements about their relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Earlier today, Chairman Comer mentioned being open to talking to Secretary Lutnick. Well, let's get him in. Let's talk to Secretary Lutnick instead. Let's talk to someone who is neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein, who actually associated with Jeffrey Epstein, not someone who had never, ever met Jeffrey Epstein to their knowledge.
Lutnick ain't doing that.
Talk about people who will help us with our investigation. And let's release the 2.5 million files so we can know who else to talk to and so we can do right by the victims and actually bring justice. Thank you.
Lutnick is not going to do nothing.
Thank you. I'm Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari, representing Arizona's 3rd District.
Oh, my God.
I am extremely appalled by the Republican chairman's behavior today and by the behavior of the entire committee and how unserious.
I don't think William says that so worried. I don't know if he means he is so worried or they are so worried or I'm so worried, but he says so worried about rich people in files. No mention of all the fraud and tax dollars. Well, I mean, I think, they've requested the tax information. They've requested the financial statements from the banks. Those haven't been held over yet. I mean, but I mean, I agree. Nobody should just be focusing on one aspect of it, but I don't think that's what's going on here. I think, whoever has whatever the Epstein files, are, obviously it has something to do with financial records. They have his financial records. They've also subpoenaed the rest of the financial records. So that's all in the FBI's purview. It's been outlined. Right. Let me see here just to get it straight, because the information is important for people to be able to know, because everybody's worried and maybe people are aware of certain parts of this and maybe some people aren't. I'm not aware of everything. And also I forget certain aspects because this is a whole lot to maintain. Right. But let's see here. Are the financial records part of the Epstein files? Okay, let me see here, just to make it part of the Epstein files. Yeah, let me see here. I'm pretty sure the financial records are part of that, and if not, they're part of. Yeah, it says the financial records are a significant part of what is commonly referred to as the Epstein files. As of early 2026, millions of pages of documents have been released through the various channels, including court orders, and the Epstein File Transparency Act. These files contain a variety of financial materials that shed light on how Epstein funded his lifestyle and maintained his records. Right? What financial records are included? The documents released by the Department of Justice, DOJ, and the various court proceedings typically include bank records and wire transfers. Documentation from the institutions like J.P. Morgan, Chase, Deutsche Bank show illegitimate wire transfers and cash withdrawals used to fund his operations. Property property and real estate records, deeds, mortgages, renovation records, and his properties in Manhattan, Palm Beach, New Mexico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay. Estate and trust documents, information regarding his $580 million fortune, trust agreements, and his last minute will, which has led to investigations into individuals like Norwegian diplomats. Okay. Expense reports and payments, records of payments made to associates and model scouts who assisted in his operations, offshore account data, records. Yeah. So, records of complete complex international financial structures and also offshore holdings. Okay. Yeah. So offshore holdings that were used to maintain secrecy. They even have subpoenaed all that stuff. Now, let me see here. I think what's going on here is that the manner in which the DOJ released the information, they haven't been too helpful in allowing people to narrow down what they're looking at. They just dropped a bunch of files, made no type of, way for people to quickly go through it. But there are financial records, and there's probably even more. But I think maybe it should be publicized more. I think every aspect of this Epstein venture needs to be totally public, and it needs to be discussed public, because my view of it is that this spells danger for the United States of America and all of its people. My view, and I've been saying this forever. I've been saying this for over a year. I've been saying this before the damn election happened, the presidential election. In my view, this is an attack on the United States of America. That's what I've been saying. I don't need to wait. I haven't waited for anyone to say that. That's been my view from the beginning. It's been an attack. They use espionage. They use the honeypot. It's been ongoing, and there's going to be serious consequences to this. So, in my view, the military is taking it pretty slow. The Senate is taking it pretty slow. The Congress is taking it pretty slow, which in my view means it's a whole lot of people compromised. That's what I think. Why would it be so slow if it wasn't more people compromised? Obviously, there's more people compromised than maybe the files even have in it. But the files might point to these people, but there's obviously a lot more information that's out there, and it's sad. But in any case,
about this investigation, let's remind.
Yeah, the survivor said, "Follow the money." I hear you.
The country about what we are actually talking about. Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell.
I'm sorry to cut this, but there's no doubt there's people who know a whole lot more. There's absolutely no doubt. And there's absolutely no doubt that some of these people know more. Obviously, some of it is not being released immediately right now. But, there's definitely people that know a whole lot more. And we know that that's just obvious. There's no way that there's not loads of people that don't know a whole lot more about this in government right now, in government before. Supreme Court, maybe, private clubs, people in these private groups like to have fun together. Trading secrets together. Yeah. All in the American taxpayers' dime. Corruption.
And a list of many rich and powerful people from around the United States and around the world.
The United States, rich and powerful people are the most rich and powerful people on earth. There it is. That's what they are. They have how many trillions does 10 people have in the United States of America? How many trillion? It's 10 people to have how many trillions? Let me look that up.
Used and raped more than 1,000 people who were children, many of whom were children at the time. And today we are sitting through an incredibly unserious clown show of a deposition where members of Congress and the Republican Party are more concerned about getting their photo op of Secretary Clinton than actually getting to the truth and holding anyone accountable. I also want to talk about the reporting from this week and the fact that we now know that the Department of Justice, in their ongoing cover-up, the most egregious cover-up in American history, intentionally seem to have redacted more or withheld more than 50 pages of allegations from a minor against President Trump. Do not forget that Kash Patel went in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee and said under oath that the FBI had no credible allegations of any other people being involved in this child sex trafficking operation.
For people that want to know, the top 1%, right? They have $49 trillion in assets. Just that top 1%, $49 trillion in assets. The percentage of the total U.S. wealth, that's 33% of the total U.S. wealth. 1% has 33% of the total U.S. Does that make any goddamn sense? No wonder you can't get health care. No wonder you can't get you have to beg to get a fucking education. You know what I'm saying? No wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, seriously, straight up. And no wonder all the corruption. No wonder all the espionage. Look, when you have wealth concentrated among a small group of people, hey, motherfucker, they easy to target. That's only 1%. Get to targeting them. That's what this espionage shit is all about. I mean, it's just, the yin and the yang. It's sad, but it comes with that territory. Sadly enough, look at what they did with it. I mean, nobody forced them to jump down little girls' pants. Nobody forced them to rape little girls. Nobody forced them to rape little boys. Nobody forced grown men 40 years old to be messing with little kids. Nobody forced them to do that. I mean, this is pathetic. This is pathetic.
These documents that the Department of Justice intentionally has withheld from the American public in regard to the allegations against President Trump came from the FBI. The FBI had interviewed this witness 4 times. You do not do that if it is not serious. So Kash Patel needs to be immediately brought back before the Oversight Committee. He needs to answer these questions again, and we need answers immediately. Again, America is watching. Young people in this country are watching to see if powerful people will continue to protect other powerful people and whether or not Congress will actually hold these perpetrators accountable. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. It helps other people get in contact with the stream, actually. This is really a sad situation because, we could do without it. We could really do without it. But it's just not going to happen because this is the best the Congress and the Senate and the Supreme Court have for the American people. It's just pathetic.
Wesley Bell, Missouri's 1st Congressional District. And as a former prosecutor, I've been involved in leading investigations in serious offenses, and this ain't it. What we're seeing is political theater. What we're seeing is folks that are looking for headlines and tweets as opposed to doing the business of going about getting justice for the victims in this case, and survivors in this case, I should say, as well. And I think that's what I think some of our friends on the other side are losing sight of, is that we are here to make certain that justice is served, and it's important for us, and as oversight members, to do our job to ensure that all the evidence, any information is heard, and that any victims, any survivors' voices are heard as well. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so what we're seeing today is we have not learned one new thing. The secretary is here. She is more than happy to have all of you come in there and into this deposition and hear her out. But there are those on the other side of the aisle who do not want that for whatever reason. And so we're going to continue to push for justice. We're going to continue to work to make certain that the victims and survivors are given their due and their voices are heard and that justice is ultimately served.
Thank you. I'm James Walkinshaw from Virginia's 11th District. The Trump administration's treatment of the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes has been a callous disregard. We've seen that in his refusal to release the files. We saw that this week at the State of the Union with his refusal to acknowledge the survivors who were in the chamber. One of the things that's been confirmed today is that in addition to having no relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, Secretary Clinton has no relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. But there are important questions we should be asking the Trump administration about Ghislaine Maxwell. And I hope that our Republican colleagues will join us in asking these questions. Why is it that Donald Trump has refused to rule out the pardon, the clemency?
I have a 134 IQ.
You know what? That is a damn good question. Why has he refused to rule that out? That's crazy, right?
Why is it that Donald Trump has refused to rule out the pardon, the clemency that Ghislaine Maxwell is campaigning for?
Yeah. Now, let me ask everybody in the chat. Why is that? Why has Donald Trump refused to count out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell? Why has he refused to count that out? What's the reason? Could it be many reasons, or is it only one reason?
We held a deposition in this committee with Ghislaine Maxwell. She used that deposition as an opportunity to campaign for a pardon. Chairman,
he's going to be, the last day he's in office, he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. It doesn't matter what day that is. Flipping, what's up? The last day in the bit. What's up, man? The last day he is in office, it don't matter if it's tomorrow or if it's a week from now, it's a month, a year. The last day he's going to pardon her, definitely.
Comer then walked out before many of you and gave her talking points as to why she should get a pardon.
I got a question. Why was the deposition done closed? Why wasn't the deposition done open? Why didn't they do that? Why didn't the Republicans, since they control it, right? Why didn't they say, you know what, Hillary Clinton? Nah, the American people need to hear from you. The American people need to hear the Clintons talk. This is going to be an open. You're going to have to give your testimony openly. It won't be behind closed doors. It won't be release a picture. It won't be an audio with snippets later. Nah, the American people are deserved to be treated like they're the most important people on earth because they pay our salaries. Release it, goddammit. You're going to do this live. They didn't do that, though, did they? No, they was like, it's a matter of fact, ain't nobody here. Keep the door, close the windows, bring the shades down. We don't. They probably put up soundproof motherfucking over the glass and shit. Like
Donald Trump needs to direct Attorney General Bond.
We don't want nobody hearing what Hillary got to say.
It's all the files to unredact the illegal redactions, and he needs to unequivocally rule out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Look, I told you somebody was going to come in here and start that shit. Look at this happiness. How do you know why? Why didn't Biden do it? It always got to go to back. Why didn't Biden? Yeah, according to that logic, why Biden didn't do it? You know why Biden didn't do it? Because there wasn't anything in the files important, right? There's nothing incriminating to impeach Trump with. So that's why Biden didn't do it, right? So why didn't Trump do this about the Clintons? Could it be for the same reason that there's nothing in it? I don't know, but at least by MAGA standard and Trump supporter standards, that would make sense. Although I don't buy it. I don't buy any of that shit. I think Biden, whatever reason he didn't release it for, has nothing to do with why Trump said he was going to release it and didn't. Biden didn't say he was going to release it. Trump said he was going to release it. There was no FBI director under Biden that was like, running for office when Biden was running for office, talking about when Biden becomes president, I'm going to release the Epstein files. It's sitting on the director's desk. It's sitting on Trump's director's desk. Nobody was saying that. That was what Kash Patel said. So why don't you hold Kash Patel to his word? If you don't hold Kash Patel to his word, why would anyone else fucking do anything for you? You know what I'm saying? You let Kash Patel break his promise. That means everybody else should walk all over you. You don't stand for shit, basically. You let Kash Patel walk all over your ass.
Monster, convicted of child sex trafficking. Why has he not ruled out pardoning her?
Yeah. Why hasn't he ruled happiness? Happiness sent heart 5340. Why has he not ruled out pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell? Answer that question.
Why did the Deputy Attorney General spend hours with her? And then why was she transferred to a cushy, lower security prison? Those are important questions we should be asking about Ghislaine Maxwell. We no longer have to ask whether there's any relationship between Secretary Clinton and Ghislaine Maxwell. There was not.
Can you give us
I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to answer your question. One second. One statement, then one question. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to begin with a question. is we want to make a very clear demand right now, which is that the full transcript, unedited, of the Secretary's questions and the answers need to be released by the majority in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
The public and the American people have a right to know exactly what she said, what questions were asked of her, and how she responded. That's transparency. She herself requested that the press and the public be allowed into the deposition. That was denied. And so at a very minimum, they need to immediately release the full transcript, and we're hopeful that tomorrow, for the former president, that the press would be allowed in and the public as well. That's been the request.
Thank you, Mr. Ranking Member. How did that leaked photo get out, and do you believe there should be any repercussions?
Well, the repercussions should come from the majority and from Chairman Comer. I mean, it was very clear that leaked photo was sent out by a member. I think it's not hard to figure out what member that was by looking at the photo. And the fact it was not just one photo, it was one photo and then a second post.
Happiness in the heart. How many YouTube accounts do you have?
That also included a photo as well. And so that was completely against the rules. I think we're grateful that the Secretary continued the deposition, but not acceptable.
You said that this is a very unserious question. The Secretary's been clear that she has no relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. She's never met Jeffrey Epstein. She said a few times that she has had encounters
with AI. You can create.
Yo, that's right, Dylan. Deputy Attorney General visits inmate. Never happened until now. Why? Yeah, why not? Why didn't they visit her? Why did Todd Blanche? Why did he feel like it was so important to visit Ghislaine Maxwell, the convicted sex trafficker, the most prolific, outside of Epstein, the most prolific sex trafficker, blackmailer in the history of the United States of America? British citizen, by the way. When she gets out of jail, she's going to skate. She's going to be out. She's going to leave. She's going to go somewhere where you cannot extradite her ass. Guaranteed, without any question whatsoever. She is not. Come on, man. This is just sad and pathetic, but it is a potent reality check. It's,
clarified what those meetings were like. Did she talk about Ghislaine Maxwell attending her daughter's wedding? Did you get
Eric, what's up, bro?
I think obviously we can't get into specifics about the answers, but we will get all those as soon as the video is released. And so we have to be very careful about giving specifics about what was actually said in the deposition.
So they don't have control over it. It's the majority, the Republicans, that have control. If the Republicans don't want Hillary Clinton's deposition to be public, it won't be public. That's how democracy works. Okay. The minority cannot decide this. It's the majority. Why they wanted it private, I have no idea.
Deposition.
Is it Hillary Clinton that wanted it private? She says she wanted it public, but let's just say she did want it private. They could have refused to that. Why didn't they refuse?
Committee rules, which is why we're demanding right now.
Edward, what's up?
Comer and the Republicans release the full transcript where all the questions that were asked will be fully answered by Secretary Clinton. What I can say is that she, again, never met Jeffrey Epstein, never went to the island, never went to the plane, and had no knowledge of any of his crimes. This is.
Oh no, James said you can keep her. We don't know. You're going to keep her ass, James. You got her. You own this. You own the Epstein files and everything that comes with it. Your health care getting cut, you own that. Okay, you're going to own that. Your inflation going up, you're going to own that, James. Yes, you are. You're going to own it, and you're going to live with it just like everybody else in the country. And you ain't going to do shit about it until Trump is impeached. You're going to eat every fucking thing Trump has coming your way. And that's how it is. And if he says Hillary is going to hang around, Hillary's going to hang around. And if you ain't doing shit about Trump, you're just going to have to take it as it comes, man. Take it as it comes. I say release the files, but they don't want to do that. So instead, they want to call Hillary Clinton. The Republicans wanted to call Hillary Clinton, yo. The Republicans. Oh, I'm English. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, my fault, man. Yeah, keep her ass. No, you're going to have to keep her, man. No, she should stay in fucking jail. Like, straight up. I hear you. Kudos to you, man. Big up to the Brits in the house, man. The English.
When Comer went in, he said it's a possibility. When I asked him if Lutnick would be subpoenaed, Mace then said she had an email printed out that she wanted to ask Clinton about. What was that line of questioning like in the room, and was there any discussion about moving forward on a request or a subpoena for Ludden?
We've made the request of Howard Ludden. It is unacceptable that we have the Commerce Secretary who has lied and lied and lied about his relationships with Jeffrey Epstein, the fact that he went to the island, he went on the plane, he went into business with Jeffrey Epstein, and yet sat there in a chair with a reporter and lied to the American people. He should resign today. He should be removed from office, and at minimum, should come before the committee. I think everyone's been clear that we need to hear from Howard Ludden.
Can you give us a line in the room? The questioning in the room.
The English don't want her back.
I want all of the secretary's responses to be released immediately, or I want the press to be allowed in to get details.
Can you give us a sense of what it was like in the room? Is this a very tense deposition? And also, can you give a little bit more color of what exactly happened when this moment on social media is shared? Was there back and forth about letting the press inside the room?
So yeah, what I can say is obviously everybody was very taken aback by the committee rules being essentially not enforced and certainly just broken immediately. That is not acceptable, especially when the secretary said from day one that she wanted the press in the room. When the incident happened, I think this is something that can be reported. The secretary's team continued to demand, even after the incident, to let the press into the room, because what was important for her is that her answers to the questions not be edited, that the video not be edited. And so we understand that, and we're committed to getting this video transcript out immediately.
And to be clear, she is answering every question.
To be clear, she's answering all the questions.
All right, let me see something. James said, at least we are doing something about Andrew and Mandelson. How on earth aren't you locking people up left, right, and center? Yeah, facts. And much appreciated. Happy you guys are locking people up, man, because, you know, that's the power that the rest of the world has over this event too. Nobody else has to sit back and wait for the U.S. to do what's right, because we're talking about espionage. We're talking about blackmail on the highest level. So obviously the DOJ, who's not releasing these files and not locking people up, you know, it stands to reason that they don't want anyone else prosecuting people in other countries. They don't want anyone else releasing information in other countries. If you were trying to cover it up, you wouldn't want other people prosecuting folks, right? So that means it's going to go down in a court hearing and all of this stuff, you know. So my thoughts on it are anybody that's prosecuting outside of the U.S. is actually helping Americans, you know, who aren't able to get access to these files. Like, you know, the Americans that feel like they're have a grievance against the government right now for not upholding its word and for not protecting the country, you know, properly. We appreciate everybody else that's prosecuting anybody involved in the Epstein files from anywhere, and any information. I would hope people would release it, because the American people are in big trouble, man. They're in big trouble. You know, we have the biggest corrupt individuals on earth, and they have gotten inside of our hen house, and they don't want to get out. You see what I mean? And luckily, other countries saw themselves as maybe being smaller is better, because at least you can fear. You're smart enough to fear these people. The American public, MAGA, they weren't smart enough to fear the richest, most corrupt people on earth. They sat back and because somebody was like, get rid of the foreigners, they were like, yeah, get rid of the foreigners, man. Let Elon Musk throw up a Nazi sign and go into Social Security office and get everybody's private information. Just let him. Why not? That's a good idea. Let you know, I mean, they just said, fuck it, let corruption reign. Peter Thiel has 3 citizenships. They were like, let corruption reign. Let Peter Thiel reign. Elon Musk, 3 citizenships. They just said, fuck it. Give him more shit than I would ever want anyone to have. And for what? What did they get out of it? Not even smart enough to get fucking healthcare out of it. I mean, these people are traitors to their own country. And it's not the same kind of traitor, like a traitor that means to be a traitor. It's a traitor that's just too fucking dumb to realize it. Like, they sold themselves out. MAGA sold out the United States of America, and they got nothing for it. The only people that's getting anything for it is the billionaires who don't give a fuck about anybody.
clear. She's answering all the questions. I think I can say.
Kevin, good looking out, Kevin.
Mr. Garcia, last question.
Appreciate you.
In terms of her relation, her understanding of her husband's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, is that something that she's been asked about?
I want the full transcripts to be released immediately, and I think everything that she said in her testimony will be clear. Thank you.
Facts, man. Edward. Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from the federal government. That's out of everybody's tax dollars. $8 million a day. If you can't go to school, you can't afford school. Now you know where your tax dollars is going. You pay for a healthcare program that you can't even access because you can't pay the deductibles. You can't pay the copays, but your tax dollars still goes into it. That is crazy. But Elon Musk gets his money. He gets his health care. Man, I'm sorry, but this third of the population in the U.S. needs to look in the mirror and smack themselves. Like, you all need to wake up extra fucking fast. Like, extra fucking fast. Extra fucking fast. There's nobody else. We might have differences left and right and center in the U.S., but let me tell you, the part of the country I'm from, we would never have sold out our fucking country just to have fucking power. We would never sell out our fucking country or our countrymen just to have fucking power. You all walked in these fucking people and you didn't even care if Putin had espionage material on your fucking candidate. You didn't even fucking care. And all you could talk about is Sleepy Biden. Well, how come you don't have espionage information on Biden? Why isn't Biden in the fucking Epstein files? If he's so bad. You see what I'm saying? Why wasn't Biden's best friend fucking Epstein? You see, but you all heard all of that shit and you fucking ignored it on purpose because you are sick. You all are fucking stupid. Like, you're fucking stupid. And if you get out of this, you will be the luckiest broke asses on fucking earth. Like, seriously, if you get out of it. Yeah, any case, as you can see, my head is about to explode. I mean, when I think about this shit too much, like, for real, I'm not playing any games with anybody. I don't have any fucking patience for this shit. And I live outside the US. What the fuck? I'm an American citizen that lives outside of the US and I ain't got no patience for this shit. I don't have any goddamn patience for this shit. And my heart goes out to the American people inside of the United States that have the good sense to know that something is terribly fucking wrong. My heart goes out to you and my loyalty goes out to you. You see what I mean? Every word that I speak is for you all. Seriously, like, straight up, man. This is the most bizarre shit on earth. Let me see something here. Send me the link of Trump saying he doesn't follow the Constitution. Yeah, send you the link of that shit. I think I'll send you the link. No worries. I'm gonna dig that up. Rent is too damn high. Let me see. Edward says there have been 24 instances of non-citizens voting in an election since 2000. Over 2 billion votes. Illegal aliens voting doesn't happen in inequity. Yeah, that could change anything. Exactly. Come on, man. There's 80 million goddamn American citizens eligible to vote that don't even fucking vote. And they talking about illegal immigrants voting. It's 80 million that said fuck voting. You really think there's 80? Do you think there's 20 million illegal immigrants that's voting? What the fuck? This is just bizarre. It's just bizarre. You know what I'm saying? These people aren't even trying to do any research. Zero fucking research. Zero logistical skills. Zero. They're not applying. Like I said, dumb. Either that or troll. You either dumb as fuck or you really don't believe it. But let me see something here. Now, again, somebody brought something out. And this is, I'm only going to go over it. I think Kevin, no, who said this? Who said something? Somebody said James. No, not James. Somebody said something about, what is this? This Hillary Clinton's, Google Hillary Clinton, something, blah, blah, blah. So let me just take a look at this. Now, when I just Googled Hillary Clinton, somebody made a request. So I will do that in the chat. Now, look at this. Here we go. Somebody said Google La 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 la. Oh, hold on. I think it's here. Sorry about that. Is it Trump documents? Someone said Google Hillary Clinton, frazzle drip Hillary Uma. This is what they told me to. Now listen, this is what comes back. In the context of current news, February 26th, this is in reference to Hillary Clinton, QAnon stuff. Your mention of frazzle drip Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin brings us to the most extreme and wildly debunked corner of the conspiracy theories surrounding the Epstein and Weiner investigations. Listen, again, if this is real, why doesn't Trump release it? He asked Putin for Hillary's emails. Why doesn't he ask somebody for this? If he thinks it's real, you know, you don't even know if one of these people associated with Elon Musk or Epstein or any of them made this shit up because they were out there really trying to fuck with your brain. I'm serious. Like, what is Frizzle Drip? Frizzle Drip is the name of a fictional, non-existent video that conspiracy theories primarily associate with QAnon. Claim was found that on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, Huma Abedin ex-husband. Uma have it. Okay. The claim is that the legend suggests the video shows Hillary Clinton and Uba engaging in a ritualistic sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. Look, I don't know if this is the same video, but a long time ago, I saw a video circulating. The video is a black and white video, right? And it doesn't have the face of anyone because the video is from the back. Is this the video? Is it a black and white video you talking about? Is that the one? A black and white video with a camera from the back of a person, right? And the person supposedly has one of these haircuts like Hillary Clinton. If I'm correct, this is the video that they just said it have to be Hillary Clinton. Secondly, do you even know if it's real? Do you even know if it's fucking real? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a black or white video. I don't know, but I'm going to read more. Oh, good looking out there. Inquisitive Prince. I appreciate that. Release the damn Epstein files, period. Yeah, exactly. End of discussion. We release all the shit. Somebody said we have color TV now. Yeah, that was Thorne. Yeah, well, but this is what it says. Look, this is what it says. The claim legend suggests the video shows Hillary Clinton and Uma Abedin engaging in a ritualistic child sacrifice wearing a face as a mask. You hear that? Wearing a face as a mask. Okay. The reality, no such video has ever been found or verified by any law enforcement agency, including NYPD or FBI. Law enforcement officials who processed the Weiner laptop, the same laptop that triggered the 2016 email investigation. Interesting. Have repeatedly stated that while it contained thousands of emails and illicit materials related to Weiner's own crimes, it contained no such snuff video or ritualistic video. Why is this trending in February 2026? The reason these names are coming up right now is due to the Epstein Files Transparency Act release we've been discussing. The new batch of 3 million pages released in the month. This month, there's renewed focus on Anthony Weiner's laptop because the 2020 FBI note that was unsealed. The search warrant, exactly. And again, if it exists, why doesn't Trump get his people to release it? Why are they keeping that a secret? Anybody got an answer for that? Oh, does Cash Patel work for the Clintons now? Is that what's going on? The search warrant and the files released this month is specifically the internal FBI communications from 2025 mentioned the investigators were looking for any and all links between the Weiner laptop and Epstein's network. The result, the documents confirmed that while there were thousands of professional emails and Abedin and Clinton, between Abedin and Clinton, there was zero evidence of a frazzle drip video or any ritualistic crimes. Okay. 2026 legal action. I mean, to be honest, this is kind of insulting because they have all the witnesses coming out in public talking about Trump having assaulted them. These people are coming in public saying Trump assaulted them. These people wrote to the FBI before. The FBI has known about this. Why is it a video that you can't even get in your own hands yourself, right? And see her face on it. Why are you so worried about that when you have all this other evidence? You know, this is it's obvious. The only people that care about anything called frazzle drip are the people that don't care about this, about these crimes, about this sexual exploitation, about this, about the slavery, sex slaves, about the you know, espionage. They don't care about that. It's like, nah, they just want to get the video. Okay, so let's say Hillary Clinton does have a video like that. So what does it mean? What does it mean then? What are they doing with it? Are they using it to control her? Are they using it to control her? What's next? Are they blackmailing Hillary Clinton because of the frazzle drip? Is that what they're doing? So why aren't they doing the same thing with any other information? Secondly, Sasha Riley said he's the one in real life. Look at this. Let me go to Sasha Riley's page. This is Sasha Riley. Let's look him up. Sasha Riley, 2 seconds. Let me, hold on. Let me flip back over to here. I just need to do something real quick. Let's go to this one. Now, let me open up Sasha Riley's page. 2 seconds. Now, Sasha Riley is a real person. You can go find him. You can contact him on Facebook, right? He's a person that talked about snuff films by Trump and Epstein, right? And he's talked about several, right? Now, he's alive. He's within proximity of you, right? He's not hiding from anybody. Here, what is this guy? Let me go up here and pull this back up now so y'all can see what I'm looking at here. Boom. I'm looking at this. Okay, y'all can see this, right? Now, let me see. Sasha Riley, isn't it? Is that his name? Sasha Riley. Here it is. His real name, the name he's using is Sasha Boros. If anybody wants to know, right? This guy says that Donald Trump, he's named several people. He's named Clarence Thomas, right? Let me pull this off. He's named Clarence Thomas. Who else has he named? He's named 4 different people. Who else did he name? Donald Trump. He named Epstein, right? He's named who else? Who else has he named? So let me go over to
He said
here.
by the medical examiner.
Let me stop this. He's named who else knows who he named? Mention it in the chat just so people know. Let me see something here. Sasha Riley. These are his audio tapes. So when people talk about these things, how come they don't talk about Sasha Riley? Like, if they're really concerned about this, that's what I don't understand. If they're really concerned about it, why don't they talk about Sasha Riley? Why don't they do that? That's what I don't understand. Let me see here. Jim Jordan. Exactly. Jim Jordan. What the they talking about one damn tape that they can't even verify when Sasha Riley is a living person. Biggs, Jim Jordan. Exactly. What's his name? Damn, Clarence Thomas. Do you like Clarence Thomas? Why don't you want to go after Clarence Thomas? I mean, it's so many people. This guy is just like he said he was in snuff videos himself. So when you think about Hillary Clinton, right? Have you ever found anybody that, obviously, I guess you never found anyone that was in the videos. You couldn't prove it, right? But this guy is alive. He said he was in these videos himself. He said he was in snuff videos with arranged by Donald Trump.
So I just
and Jeffrey Epstein.
Clarify.
So that's what he says.
Yeah. The runaway was tortured to death in a duplex in Enterprise, Alabama. My parents did that, and that wasn't on film, not her being tortured, but that was that black girl that I'm telling you about that later on Michael Bayless had talked to me about. But they went and got her because they were afraid that this was after the investigation in Tennessee, and they were afraid that they would go down for child pornography. So they were wanting to kill her, and then they were wanting to get rid of me via an accident, but they couldn't because They had already tried to kill me several times. They had the...
Yeah.
But it is possible. I think my commanding officer's name at that time was Captain Colasanto. But I'm not sure, because you get commanding officers coming.
It's people in the military that have seen videos of him doing child porn that was set up by Epstein, Trump, or their associates. And Sasha Riley, he says a whole lot about Trump in here that you need to hear. And anybody that's not interested in this, you're pretty much, in my view, not interested in a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely not interested in any snuff videos if you're not interested in this, because he says he participated in the snuff videos himself, right? And he names Trump as being the one arranging it, like straight up. So I don't get it. I don't get why people don't refer to these things. But in any case, let's get back to the regular program now. They said a lot here, so let's continue to follow up and see what's happening. Where is it at?
Traditional keyword research is...
Here we go. 2 seconds. Let me see here. This is more on the Clintons drip, you could say. Here
Joining
we go.
us now, Jonathan Lemire, staff writer for The Atlantic and co-host of Morning Joe. Jonathan Capehart is co-host of MS Now's The Weekend. Amy Parnes, senior political correspondent for The Hill and co-author of Shattered, Inside Hillary Clinton's Doomed Campaign. John Lemire, Clinton made clear in her opening statement she has no knowledge that would assist in the investigation. So if the Oversight Committee's actual goal is to get justice for survivors, have they addressed how Hillary Clinton gets them there?
No, they have not. And having her there, and we know her husband, the former president, did have some connections with Jeffrey Epstein. That's been well documented. But having her there almost betrays what this has really been about for certainly the Republicans on the Hill, and the argument can be made for Donald Trump's Department of Justice. And that is making this a political exercise.
Yeah, to me, this just sounds like they're going to Benghazi. You know, they want the emails. They want to ask her about Benghazi. I mean, there's clearly there's plenty of other people that were around Epstein, a lot more that should be brought in front of the public.
You know, it is hard for the DOJ to suggest they are an unbiased seeker of truth and justice when they have a giant poster on DOJ headquarters in Washington, D.C., a giant banner with President Trump's picture on it. That's true. It hangs there to this day. And we have seen this administration give guidance, some spoken, some unspoken, to DOJ to make this political, to try to protect President Trump. And certainly there's been explosive reporting in the last day or so about these pages upon pages of documents, interviews with
Oh, good looking out, Edward. I appreciate that, man. I see the link now.
An accuser of President Trump. That's all missing from the files released. And we don't know that there's any merit to the accusations, but certainly the fact that these documents were withheld raises real questions about the integrity of this investigation. And I will say there are some in Trump's orbit, Chris, who are a little leery of having the Clintons do these depositions. And what we saw today about the photo being released certainly gives credence to the Clintons wanting to make this public, since already images are being sent to the media by a Republican congresswoman, apparently. But also that if these Clintons can be called there, well, so could perhaps President Trump, perhaps after November, if Democrats get control of the House.
So Jonathan Capehart, he raises a provocative possibility. I mean, if you take a look at the headlines recently, and I think we can show you some of them, the fallout from the Epstein files has resulted in both arrests and resignations, so no charges of sex crimes. Could there be an opening for something more to happen with potentially even more powerful people?
Well, sure. Just given who we know, whose names have appeared in the files, chief among them the president, but also, like, we're very super hyper focused on the people here who are Americans who are named in the files. But we have seen overseas people mentioned in the files who have been held accountable, from Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, former Prince Andrew, to the former U.S. ambassador, Mr. Ambassador Mendelsohn, I think his last name is. Yep. They've been arrested. Action happening in Norway with the former prime minister. Gordon Brown.
Shit is getting hot everywhere. I think in Europe, anybody that has any kind of relationship with Jeffrey Epstein that worked in government or had access to official government documents is probably going to get charged with something, or at least investigated, like straight up. But they already started charging people. So,
former British Prime Minister who said, "Hey, authorities, I have documents, I have evidence to hand over," which opens up other avenues that it looks like the Justice Department has been trying to close off to the Oversight Committee and to others who are trying to hold people accountable. If Prime Minister Brown and the Norwegians and other folks who are not in the United States also then hand over documents, I'm not sure that the Americans who are being shielded at the moment can depend on that shield being permanent.
What do you think, Amy?
It's amazing because MAGA talked a lot about, sovereignty. They talked a lot about, let's pull ourselves back from the world. Let's do for America first. Yo, let me tell you, Europe is thinking about sovereignty and security way more than American citizens are in terms of their electorate, in terms of the representatives they pick and elect. They are taking care of security. Anything that's a threat to their national security, they're wrapping up. And it doesn't have to be simply about Epstein. What about Elon Musk? Yeah, they saw Elon Musk as a security threat. And first of all, it was with his businesses. The way he was running his businesses, not taking accountability for fraud in his business. So they saw that as a threat, but they've been on Elon Musk's ass the entire time. That's why Elon Musk has a vendetta against European countries, because they actually didn't allow him to do all of this crazy shit in Europe. But the Americans, my people, we allowed him. We allowed him. Simple and plain. We allowed Elon Musk all the grace, to go into everything. We just trusted him with all our nation's, most sensitive shit, and we're paying him $8 million a day. Do you have that money? I mean, how are you living American citizen? I mean, who the fuck does that? And I'm going to tell you, it is not your fault if you are angry as fuck about this. It is not your fault. It's not your fault. Nobody can say it's your fault if you are angry and livid. Nobody, that person, that young man, it's sad to see that. But that young man that was 20 years old and went down to Trump's Mar-a-Lago with a shotgun in his hand, it's not his fault he was fucking pissed. The United States representatives and the president are fucking up right now. And when I have to support a MAGA person, this guy was a MAGA dude. That means there's something terribly wrong when people on the left and right agree about something. You see what I mean? That means it cannot be ignored. You see what I mean? Now, I'm not telling people to do things, but I'm just saying, if you're pissed the fuck off about what is going on and you're an American citizen, it's not your fault. It's the Congress' fault. It's the Senate's fault. And it's the White House fault. And it's the Supreme Court's fault. That who holds and have to own the blame for any destruction, any harm, any issues of sovereignty, any issues of corruption, that's who holds the blame. That's who holds it. And, that's why you see that 20-year-old man is so sad, go out there and throw away his life for a piece of shit like Trump. I mean, it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up.
And I go back to the idea that these survivors have shown a tenacity. They have shown a sophistication. They have kept this story.
I mean, you can imagine if they don't give a fuck about the survivors, they don't give a fuck about anybody else.
In the news, including going, some of them, to the State of the Union, right? Taking every opportunity when they're asked to come and say why they think this investigation needs to continue on all levels. They've built relationships with members of Congress. What might that mean going forward?
I mean, it has lasting staying power, and that's why I've been hearing from Republicans for months that they want this issue out there. I mean, let's not forget what happened with Speaker Johnson. He dismissed the House over the summer. Yeah. Now he had to bring it back, and because he saw that his folks wanted this thing out there. But it is true that these survivors, these victims, they are pushing this case forward and keeping keeping it in the headlines. And the fact of the matter is Republicans are on board. They realize, a lot of them realize how important this is. I just don't know what Hillary Clinton will add to this conversation, really. I mean, I think it's almost, it's going to, I think, throw this in the other direction for them. And I think the backlash, why not have Melania Trump out there if Hillary Clinton is testifying and she has nothing to do with Epstein himself. I think the point is kind of moot. I don't know how much this adds to the transparency here.
It is it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They have Hillary Clinton. I mean, again, I'm not really a fan of Hillary Clinton, but that doesn't mean I believe she's involved in any of the shit that these people are talking about. And I was not a fan of her for just some basic, simple things. Number one, I'm not a fan of anybody who's married to a president trying to become president. That's just not me. I'm not for that. Okay. I'm totally against it. And that's not personal about Hillary Clinton, but I am totally against it. I'm against anybody being president and having any family member try to become president. It doesn't matter if you're a Bush, if you're a Clinton, if you're a Trumper, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're a Biden, it doesn't matter. I'm totally against nepotism. You see what I mean? So for that, I didn't really like the fact that she ran. But she said she's done a few things that I didn't agree with either. I mean, hey, but outside of that, I don't have anything against her. And I do respect her for what she's been able to achieve. But I don't think she has a stronger record than Kamala Harris. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think she did. I think Kamala Harris really, really has been scrapping for a long time. And it's not attached to her husband being president. And I'm not saying Hillary, that's the only reason why she's achieved anything. I'm not saying that it's because of Bill. But, Bill was the governor. Bill was the president. You see what I mean? So he has a track record, too. And Hillary was his wife. So in any case, but having said that, I just think that it's ridiculous that they have her up here. Yeah. There's way more people more important. Melania Trump. What about her? Didn't Epstein bring her ass here to the United States himself? I mean, why isn't she up there? You see what I mean? Don't the voters want to hear from her? I mean, it just makes no goddamn sense. It just makes no goddamn sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Secretary of State, security. You said security. She was the Secretary of State. Yeah. But again, this is after Clinton was president. You see what I mean? So, and I'm not dissing her accomplishments. I'm just saying I believe Kamala Harris's record is a little bit deeper than that. That's all I'm saying. But and Kamala Harris isn't married to somebody that was the president, or and I'm not saying that it's about marriage either. But her family members were not president. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not for the nepotism and yeah, but in any case, they had Hillary Clinton testifying today. It's behind closed doors. We likely not going to hear much about it. But in case there is something, what the hell? Let's find out.
Our Democratic Congressman Suhas Subramanian gave us a firsthand account of what's happening inside. Let me play part of what he said.
I think Secretary Clinton is puzzled as to why she's here and answering questions. I think she's held her own, though. Frankly, we're about to go question her, and I'm trying to figure out what else to ask her, because she's very clearly doesn't know much about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
She doesn't know much about it. Yeah, she doesn't know much about it, and it is what it is. I mean, but they're going to keep looking, and it's our duty to also look. It's our duty to look and try to find out what they know about it. And if anything pops up, we will take a look at it. But I doubt anything's going to pop up at all. So, it just is what it is.
I mean, when you read her statement, Jonathan Capehart, and you've interviewed both of the Clintons, she was tough. She was focused. She talked, I thought, very interestingly about, I say she schooled members of the committee. She said, listen, I've known about sexual trafficking. I've worked in the area of sexual trafficking, sexual abuse for decades now. Let me tell you the things that I've done. Does everything you've heard coming out of there, and even this strange picture that's been released for we don't exactly know why, but match what you would expect from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anyone who remember the Benghazi hearings when she sat for 11 straight hours and parried with these folks who were clearly not up to the task.
Going in and out of the room while she sat there.
Right. There we go. Right there on the screen. And so this cast of characters in the majority.
You know, and this is so funny. I saw Edward deleted this comment. Somebody said, Hillary Clinton, I don't even know what they say is delete. Hillary Clinton was on Epstein Island 60 sometimes or whatever, this kind of thing. Well, listen, why are they having her testimony closed? Why did Republicans want her testimony closed if they have all kinds of dirt on her? That makes no sense. That's called working backwards. Maybe the Republicans are dumb as fuck and they really don't want Hillary Clinton, or they just simply don't have that information, and can't sustain it. A lot of what MAGA did was they relied on conspiracy theories put out by people they don't even know where the source of any of the information is that they quote. That's what QAnon was based on. They don't even know if it's foreign agents behind QAnon. I mean, this is what happened with the advent of the internet and the advent of social media. This is what exists, and they need to get it through their thick head that, look, if you can't verify information and you don't even know who is giving you the information because you only want to get it from some secret portal on the fucking internet, isn't that an indication that the information is likely not going to stand up to to light? Isn't that an indication if it just wants to only exist in those dark little web areas? You know what I mean? Why aren't these people that you voted for exposing it? I mean, come on. Doesn't your vote count for something? Why the hell are you voting? You know what I'm saying? Why these MAGA people vote? Because their members ain't doing shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Their members are doing nothing about nothing. Period. They sitting on QAnon accusations. They sitting on Jeffrey Epstein files. They just keeping it all locked up and not going to talk about none of it in public. I mean, get the hell out of here. Come on. At some point, you have to say, you've been bamboozled, okay? QAnon people, you've been bamboozled. Trump supporters, you've been bamboozled. Bad. But at some point, you got to stop.
To think that they're going to get the better of her, in what you just read in terms of her experience on the issue of sex trafficking, do they not understand that she came in prepared? Like, I'm going to play your game, and you know what? I'm going to get on the record, since the transcripts are going to be released, the video is going to be released. Folks are going to hear what I have to say in terms of my experience, because there is no experience with Epstein, but I'm also, through these transcripts and videos and my testimony here, I'm going to show the American people what a farce this is, how ludicrous you guys sound and look, and also hold a mirror up to you to begin to get the American people to ask the question, well, wait, why isn't the committee talking to the president? Why isn't the committee talking to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick? Why isn't the committee talking to the First Lady? If the former First Lady is apparently relevant, meaning Hillary Clinton, to this conversation, and there's no evidence, no pictures, then why aren't we talking to the current First Lady, where there are numerous pictures of her with that one right there that's on?
Because Republicans don't make any goddamn sense. I mean, it's almost like anyone that was close to Epstein, they don't want to hear nothing about that. Anybody. They don't want to subpoena security. They don't want to subpoena staff. Nothing. None of that shit. They don't want to know nothing about it. What his wife is in. This dude, his wife used to be Epstein's fucking girlfriend. They don't want to know about that. They don't want to know about who got her visa, who filled out her visa papers, where was she working when she got her visa, you know what I'm saying? Her Einstein visa, what was her job? None of that shit. They don't want to know none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But they want to know about Hillary Clinton's ass. Hillary Clinton isn't tossed over a fucking couch with her breast sticking out and shit, with her leg up on it, 2-3 different dudes in pictures every fucking where. Hillary Clinton is not in nude pictures and shit on Russian television. This man's wife is in so-called nude pictures on Russian fucking television, and fucking Republicans don't want to know what that's all about. I mean, but they want to know about Hillary Clinton. She wears her stockings all the way up to her knees and shit. Hillary Clinton is wearing fucking plaid, goddamn plaid. I don't know. I'm not trying to diss. I'm just saying she got a different style. Her style is definitely not hoe. Her style doesn't say sex trafficked. You know what I'm saying? Hillary Clinton. They want to know all about her though and shit. You know, but look who they don't want to know about. They don't want to know about this lady. It's like, what the hell? I mean, man, I don't know what the hell is going on, bro. Like, seriously, yeah, Patty Trumpstein. Exactly. Trumpenstein. God damn, you know, it is just
on the screen right now.
Yeah. So Jonathan Lemire.
Waste of taxpayer dollars. Yeah. Waste of taxpayer dollars. You know what I'm saying? We got more dollars to give these people, apparently. This is what the Congress thinks, that American people have more dollars for this nonsense. Look, why can't we just cut our losses and impeach this MFer? Like, why do we have to spend any more time? Look, if you ain't going to release the files, then at least impeach this motherfucker. Like, just get him out of here. It can't be both. It can't be that you keep him in power and you don't release the fucking files. Like, it is just, it's just not making sense.
Are you hearing anything about pressure on lawmakers to turn this months-long investigation into actually something tangible?
I mean, I think that there are some voices who have been pressuring them all along. We know Congressman Massey and Khanna formed a bit of a bipartisan team here to push this with some support from others. But I think that, Chairman Comer has, to this point, largely run interference on behalf of the Trump administration. Though we should note, before he went in there today, he did speak to the press and did not rule out calling Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick for an eventual deposition. Lutnick is in the files repeatedly and clearly misrepresented when he says he severed connections to Epstein. Turns out he was in touch with
This guy is pathetic, man. I mean, think about it. You could be a billionaire, but you could be a billionaire who is not caught all up in the Epstein files. I mean, you could be a billionaire that's not caught out there lying about your contact with the most prolific sex trafficker and blackmailer in the United States history. You could be the type of billionaire that's not caught up in this disgusting bullshit, in this greedy, how can I say this? Can't keep your pants up type of blackmail shit. You could be that kind of billionaire that's actually cool, but none of these people are, man. These people got by a fucking honeypot operation. How pathetic is that? How pathetic is that as a man? Just think about this, man. Come on, let's be honest, y'all. Let's be honest. I don't know how many ladies are in the chat. I don't know how many men are in the chat, but listen, men, can't you keep it in your pants? If you married, if you got a girlfriend, can't you control your shit? Can't you control it? You have to be able to control it or you're not going to get far. You're not going to get far. And at least have some goddamn dignity. At least have some self-respect. You see what I mean? If you're married, yo, man, why are you going out there cheating on your wife? If you're married, why are you going out there doing that? If you are, and even if you ain't married, why are you messing? Why are you so stupid that you're going to go out there and allow someone else to traffic you fucking girls, and on top of that, traffic you minors just because you don't know how to get a fucking date yourself? How pathetic is that? As a man, how pathetic is that? See, so these men, they're not just like stupid. They're not just, this is not just a little mistake here. This is a serious mistake about your own ethics and morals, your own manhood. Like, what does manhood mean to these motherfuckers? Like, nothing. And they got $1 billion. $1 billion goddamn dollars, man. And they are not men. They don't know how to go out and find a date the right way. That's pathetic, yo. And they got $1 billion fucking dollars. $1 billion. Look, I'm just saying, you know, and I know this is, it's not necessary for me to say this, but I'm just going to say, look, with $20 in my pocket, I can go out and find a date the right way. You know what I'm saying? $50, fuck it. Maybe not 20, because I like to have some decent real drinks. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go, what's today? I think I'm going to go out and have a cocktail in a little bit. As a matter of fact, let me see here. What is today? Yes, I fucking am. I'm about to get myself ready. I'm going to go out and get a cocktail tonight. But listen, I mean, you know, you don't need $1 billion fucking dollars. These dudes got $1 billion fucking dollars. And they're the same type of dudes that's going to get in honeypots on cameras just because they can't go solicit their own dates, you know, that are the right age and by themselves without hiring somebody to do it for them. This is pathetic, man. This is pathetic. Let me see here. Edward says right now Trump takes all the heat for all their horrible ideas. Yeah, if Trump is gone, then the Republicans will have to take the heat for all their horrible ideas. Yeah, they better hope Trump never leaves. You got it right. They got a symbiotic relationship together. None of them can live without each other. Once one falls, they all falling. Once Trump is gone, they all falling like dominoes, man. Trump is there protecting them, and he's protecting his own as they're trying to protect him. He's trying to protect it's tight, man. The dominoes are falling soon. They only need one or two more to lose one or two more people in Congress. You know, and if it doesn't happen sooner rather than later, then it's definitely happening after this next election. Like, American people are fucking pissed off, and American people have every reason, no matter if you're a Republican, no matter if you're a Democrat, if you are an average worker, if you're middle class, if you're poor, if you're just an everyday person that believed in your country, you have every fucking right to be extremely pissed off about this government right now. Like, they're just a big letdown. They're a big letdown. Let me see here. Abmo says, it irks me how the religious right has taken the Epstein files. Man, they just flip-flopped and shit. You know, they were all conservatives before, and now that Trump is in office, they like, we don't care what was going on in there. You know, they're supposed to be religious. Aren't they supposed to stand on the side of the victims? Nah, not in the U.S. That religious right doesn't stand on the side with the victims, you know, apparently, you know, they stand on the side of the billionaires. Don't they read the fucking Bible? I mean, you don't have to believe in the Bible verbatim to get some real messages about life in there. Look, Jesus was talking about how fucked up, corrupt the state was. These people there was even sex trafficking in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, I'm sorry, not to make fun of it, but I mean, really, there's some real messages in there that one could take away with their life. Not only the Bible, but I'm just saying, you know, for instance, and since we're talking about the U.S., the religious right, they haven't stood on the side of the victims, man. That's horrible. Thorne says, I was so grossed out about Epstein, I took my family to his island. Yeah, this is Lutnick. What the fuck? That's exactly what this is the man who said that. It irks me. Hold on. I was so grossed out about Epstein that I took my family to his island, and I took my nannies, 2 nannies. I took 2 nannies with me, and I took my friends' kids. What the fuck? This dude is correct. I mean, listen, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know, a person that's used to putting 2 to 2 together, you might wonder if Epstein is participating in the trafficking. You might wonder, I mean, if Lutnick is participating, because why would you bring, you know, the guy's is a prolific sex trafficker. You know, the guy has been convicted and got away with shit. You said it yourself. He got away with this stuff. It must have been because he made a deal with the FBI or the CIA or something, right? That's what Lutnick said. So why would you bring 2 nannies? The nannies, how old were those nannies? And you're bringing them to Epstein Island, let alone your kids. But see, the nannies don't have any personal connection to you. So that, to me, it sounds like they might be the ones up for grabs in this stuff. Like, did they know Epstein was sex trafficking? Did Lutnick tell them what he knew? That kind of makes Lutnick seem like he was in on it more than what he lets on, you know? I'm just saying, you know, that's what it seems like to me. And I'm not trying to condemn Lutnick. It just seems logical to me. Like, damn, you can't have your cake and eat it too. All right, let me see here. Epstein was making Lutnick money. Yeah, let me see here. Let me see. It says, what Nick says, he didn't have a relationship with Epstein, but Epstein sold at the mansion next door, to him for $1. I wish there was an anonymous billionaire that would sell a mansion. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this story about him, everything that he said, especially the part where he offered knowing that Epstein was a prolific sex trafficker and blackmailer, and believing himself that he got off because he gave information to the FBI, I think that kind of makes his other comment about visiting his island with these nannies, because obviously, you know, a nanny's just an assistant, right? A young assistant with no profession, basically. Likely maybe foreign. You never know who they are, right? Trying to pay their way through school, right? Bringing people to Epstein and not informing them of who you know they are, that's highly suspicious, if you ask me. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to explain himself out of that one. But yeah, all the other things too, the $1 apartment or a house, you know, wow, you got a great deal, man. Money don't bring you happiness. No. Listen, I don't even want money like that. And, you know, I think money like this corrupts you. It's better to have it in some sort of, you know, trust that you don't touch or manage. And then if you have lots of money, just disappear to where nobody knows who you are. Like, don't use that money to gain something yourself. You know what I mean? Personally in your life. It's good to have money to get you out of hard times or to make sure you have stability. But outside of that, I think it corrupts a lot. If you could help some poor people, help poor kids, help orphanages, or help people that don't have anything, that's noble. But outside of that, I think no matter how much money you have, just maintaining a simple life where you're not spending a lot of money, where your friendships aren't based on money, where your associates aren't based on money. I'm talking about every day. I think that's kind of how you want to have it, you know. At least that's how I see it. Let me see here. JF8643, doesn't matter 1 or 10 billion. These people aren't looking for dates. They're sick. Yeah, they sick, man. They sick. A gigantic house of car. Yeah, it's falling, Karen. It's going to fall. It's going to fall. And yeah, like they always say, the U.S., man, we make everything big. You know, anything we make it big. It could be good or it could be bad, you know. But this one is a big bad one that's going to fall. Edward says Robin Short, no missing. Yeah, there we go. So let's see what else they saying about this Joker, man. And I'm just keeping an eye on when they come out from the next part of the meeting. That should be soon. It's like 6 o'clock. Let me see if they got some new releases while I rock this.
Disgraced financier much later than he originally admitted, but we'll see. It is very rare indeed when the Republicans on the Hill defy President Trump. And
yeah, they ain't going to defy him. I mean, they might, who knows, but we've been waiting too long for that. So nobody's waiting no more. Fuck them. If they don't do, I'm expecting that they won't. And if they do, I'll be surprised, but I ain't waiting on them no more. I don't believe they have the balls and the ethics to do anything about Trump.
Again, Ranking Member Robert Garcia for Oversight Democrats. I'm going to make some brief statements, as will my colleagues, and then perhaps a question or two, and then we're going to get back to the deposition. As a reminder, this deposition has now gone on for...
Lutnick is close to Trump. Why is Lutnick money? Billionaire. He's in the billionaire circle, man. He's known Epstein. That's why. Yeah.
About 2 hours plus 2.5 hours. And so
he was Epstein's neighbor. Lutnick was Epstein's neighbor in Manhattan. And while Trump and Epstein were best buddies.
It will continue throughout the day, and so going to be also respectful of not being.
Yo, peace, Edward. Good looking out, man. Appreciate you.
I do have some overall statements to make. And a lot of this obviously ties into what the Secretary has already put out herself in her opening statement. Just want to begin by just clarifying and putting emphasis on something that's very important, and it's something the Secretary herself has said. Secretary Clinton never met Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, so that was their comment. Obviously, this is the statement they're making, and who knows if this is after it says House speaks as Hillary Clinton testifies in House. So it's still going on. Let me see. Let me just try to play this, and I'm going to try to see what else is out there real quick.
She never visited the island. She never flew on his plane. She also had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's horrific crime. So zero knowledge of any wrongdoing. And you've also all heard that directly from her. Secretary Clinton is also completely cooperating with the deposition and the committee, and is answering questions in full faith and in good faith. What is not acceptable is oversight Republicans breaking their own committee rules that they established with the Secretary and her team, which you've all reported and you've seen by releasing photos. Not acceptable, and it was gracious of the Secretary and her team to continue the deposition.
Okay, so they leaked a photo of her. Okay, right. That's not supposed to happen, but let me see here now. We heard that one, but let me go and check this one out real quick. Let me see here.
Jeffrey Epstein's list of powerful friends never fails to shock. And among the most powerful of all, former President Bill Clinton. Pictured in a jacuzzi, swimming pool, and on a private plane. The Epstein files have no photographs of his wife Hillary Clinton with the billionaire paedophile. She does not think they ever met. But still, she was summoned first to take questions from US lawmakers investigating Epstein's crimes. The House Oversight Committee's Republican chair said there was no suggestion of wrongdoing by the Clintons, but he wanted answers about Epstein.
How did he accumulate so much wealth? How was he able to surround himself with some of the most powerful men in the world? Was he an asset for government or any other government?
Hillary Clinton has admitted that she did know Ghislaine Maxwell, well enough that you can see here she attended her daughter Chelsea's wedding. But she released an opening statement on social media saying she had no idea about Epstein's criminal activities, adding, "I never flew on his plane or visited his island." She said if this committee is serious about learning the truth, it should ask Donald Trump directly, under oath, about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. It would not waste time on fishing expeditions. What is being held back, she asked, who is being protected, and why the cover-up? The deposition took place behind closed doors, with video expected later, but it was briefly disrupted when this photograph from inside was leaked to a conservative commentator. Speaking outside, committee Democrats said they were glad Hillary Clinton was taking questions.
Skal du til at bygge din hjemmeside i WordPress?
Oops, sorry about that. Let's see here. Here we go. Boom.
Agreed with her. It was leaked to a conservative commentator. Speaking outside, committee Democrats said they were glad Hillary Clinton was taking questions, but agreed with her that there is a sense of a cover-up protecting others.
If the most powerful people in the United States of America, the elite and rich and powerful men and women, are able to get away with these heinous crimes, then we are sending a horrible message to young people in this country that powerful people will always protect themselves and the rule of law does not apply to everyone.
Questions are still being asked about Trump himself, who was once close to Epstein. The president says the files totally exonerate him, but there are reports that key material relating to a woman who made an accusation about the president could be missing. Lawmakers, like Congressman Johnny Olszewski, are trying to dig out information. He took up a Department of Justice offer to search the files without redactions and saw things blacked out that shouldn't have been.
Clearly protecting those who were involved
and accused of terrible things.
And those are just the files that have been released. A Channel 4 News investigation suggests they could amount to only 2% of the total.
The
2% of the total. That means there's likely, possibly 100 million files, not 6 million.
extent to which our government continues to withhold these documents is incredibly disturbing and makes me think that it really feels that this is a cover-up worse than Watergate, which was the seminal moment in American politics.
And you say it's like Watergate. Is it going to bring down a president?
Again, I think...
You know, worse than Watergate? Is it going to bring down a president? Well, Watergate brought down a president. But if it's worse than Watergate, how much worse is it? Is it 5 times as bad? Is it 10 times as bad? I mean, does it sound like only the president is implicated? You know, Watergate, who did Watergate implicate? How many people went down because they were implicated in Watergate? This sounds like it could take down, it won't take down the nation, but it could if nothing's done about it. If nothing is done about it, if these files are not released, there's the potential to take down the U.S. because the American people will never know who to trust in government and who not to. They will never be 100% sure who of the Epstein class, who of the conspirators is still in government if they don't release these files. So, and at the same time, if someone else has these files, which they likely do, another government, they could use everything that they have against the American people and the U.S. government. They could use everything against the American people and without the American people even knowing it. So if that's the situation American people want to be in, where somebody else knows more than them, some foreign government knows more about their representatives than they know about them, then that's your own choice. That's a stupid choice to make. That's an incredibly dumb choice to make. But if that's the choice you make, that's your choice to live with.
I think if the potential crimes...
Yeah, it's far worse than Watergate, Thorne.
And the potential activities that are hinted at are actually chased down and found to be true, it absolutely will bring down this president, as it should bring down any president. I think if it's tracked down and found to be true, it will bring down cabinet secretaries, it will bring down a Supreme Court justice, it will bring down members of Congress.
You hear that? So now they're saying it now. Now they're mentioning Supreme Court. See, I've been saying this the whole time. Supreme Court justices, Congress, and who else? And senators. You know, like, this is crazy.
True. It absolutely will bring down this president, as it should bring down any president. I think if it's tracked down and found to be true, it will bring down cabinet secretaries, it will bring down a Supreme Court justice, it will bring down members of Congress. And that's how it should be.
President Trump has always denied wrongdoing, while the Department
and that's how
of
it should
Justice
be.
has made clear that being in the files does not imply guilt. There are no accusations against Bill Clinton, but his clear association with Jeffrey Epstein will be the subject of questions tomorrow as this scandal continues to unfold. Hillary and Bill Clinton are the first people to have been effectively forced to appear at a deposition, and you can hear in Hillary Clinton's statement that she has read out to lawmakers that she is absolutely furious about that. She thinks it is political. She has said to them, you've made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the files. And when one billionaire businessman, Lex Wexner, was questioned, Republicans didn't even turn up. She's talked about spending her life devoted to,
How the hell they not even turn up?
Women and girls, talking about meeting girls as young as 12 forced into prostitution, calling it a global scourge with an unimaginable human toll. And she has argued that if this is really about the survivors, then all the Epstein files should be out there. I mentioned in the piece that there's been reporting here from the New York Times and also from NPR suggesting that files relating to Donald Trump might be missing. But our own investigations show that the FBI discussed taking in way more files than we have seen. And that is why people feel that this could be a cover-up.
Thanks, Anushka. Well, I'm now joined by Doug Sosnick.
All right, for those that are listening and not in the chat, I put in the chat the link for people to hop up and speak. If anybody wants to hop up and speak, feel free. It's the Discord link. That means you will get your audio. You'll be able to speak in the show like I'm speaking, and everybody else gets a chance to hear your voice, hear you introduce yourself, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and then ask some questions. Sometimes it's good to hear hear people's voices, because then you get an idea. It kind of qualifies a little bit about who you're speaking with. And really, in reality, the chat doesn't always do that, because this is the age of trolls, so you can qualify very little about a lot of people, right, that have a lot of opinions. You see what I mean? And so I like to extend that. Now, I don't mind a difference of opinion, but I like to have people hop up so I can ask them questions too. You see what I mean? And so there can be a natural dialogue. We can be sure of a natural dialogue and a real discourse, not just you getting to say what you want to say, not just me getting to say what I want to say, but us having a real conversation. So the link is in the chat. It's the Discord link. Feel free to hop up if you feel you can do that.
Senior advisor to President Bill Clinton for 6 years. Thank you for joining us. I guess America is so divided that people will divide on how they feel about this. But do you think Hillary Clinton can emerge from her questioning without her reputation damaged?
Winter blues are...
Let's see here, okay? Let's go on 2 seconds. Here we go.
How they feel about this, but do you think Hillary Clinton can emerge from her questioning without her reputation damaged?
Well, I think the last person in the world I'd worry about is Hillary Clinton. There's
facts.
absolutely no reason.
Facts, EJR facts.
Why she should be called in to testify. She's never met Epstein to her recollection. She's not in the files. This is all about politics. And the chairman of the committee, Mr. Comer, who's been the chairman now for 3 years, so he has a track record, has demonstrated that he's pretty much a backbenching, incompetent political hack on behalf of Trump. And so outside of the MAGA universe, I think the vast majority of people in this country see this for what it is. And I should just add quickly that The Economist came out with a poll this week in which 57% of the country disapproves of how the Trump administration has handled the Epstein matter, and that they believe 53%, which is a majority, believe that there's been a cover-up.
But she did know Ghislaine Maxwell.
EJR, 1911. Yeah, we need the files. EJ says, E Junior, I guess that is, maybe we need these files released, give us a chance to start anew. I definitely think that's true. We can't, I don't think we're going to go further without knowing exactly. It's obviously a whole lot of terrible things involving a whole lot of people in government, in the Supreme Court. And keep in mind, if representatives are saying this, they're saying Supreme Court, they're saying Congress, they're saying Senate, and also the White House, obviously, then that is basically where you have to clean up 100%. And anyone associated with that, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, they're all in these files. It's deeply in these files. The things they were discussing with Jeffrey Epstein should scare the fuck out of American people, and yet I don't understand it. Obviously, there's some people very scared, which is why you see this young man and people like that going down with a rifle or a shotgun to Mar-a-Lago. It's obviously scaring a lot of people, but I don't know why our Congress and our Senate doesn't seem to care how scared American people are. And I believe American people have every right to be scared, because if you listen to some of the conversations they were having, even just in the emails and the things they discuss, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, they don't sound like they value human life much, So, So what were they talking to Epstein, a sex trafficker, about? What were they collecting information on all these people? Why was Jeffrey Epstein recording all these men with children? Why was he doing that? What was the goal behind it? And What can they do with that kind of knowledge? What can be done, to control your government with that kind of knowledge? And it's if you look at Trump, does Trump look like a person that acts normal? When he faces the globe, I mean, if Putin, I put it to you this way, if Putin had access to those files, Trump acts like a person that knows it. I put it to you that way. He doesn't act like a person that's not afraid of Putin. Netanyahu, if he has it, I don't know if he does, but if he has it or they have this information, he sure seems to be giving Israel every single thing they want without any thought over, even how it looks to the public. It was already a bad situation, but now he's talking about, turning Gaza into a summer camp, a hotel, a resort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it couldn't be worse. So what makes a person go that far? One has to ask, is it Trump doing what he likes to do, or is it that he has to do it? And the only way we're going to know is if those files get released. Let me see here. There's some power in those files. The people have to be powerful to be scared to release them. The people have to be powerful to be scared. Yeah, well, got to catch some A's. Yeah, I see you, Dylan. Be good, man. Peace. No doubt. I catch you in a little bit. He did that for the leverage, and then some. He would own people, and he may have been a scumbag, but he was semi-smart. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Maxwell attended Chelsea Clinton's wedding, and that is an uncomfortably close association with a criminal.
Well, first of all, that's accurate.
Yeah, facts, Deborah. We need to fumigate all that shit out of there. American people don't deserve this shit. The average American is not doing these kind of dastardly things, and the fact that these people in high places would do these things regularly, it just goes to show you they don't respect the American people, like flat out. That's my thoughts
the reason
about
that
it.
she was there, my understanding was that Hillary had a long-standing relationship with her boyfriend at the time, but that has nothing to do with what the chairman said on your piece before I came on about why he called her in to get to the bottom of a whole series of questions about Epstein and how he got his money, which is ridiculous, of course, because she never met the guy. And the last thing I'll add is Melania Trump, on the other hand, had a long-standing relationship with Epstein, long-standing relationship. And it shows you the absurdity and the politicization of this, that Hillary's being called, and of course, Melania is not.
Well, and of course, Trump. But I mean, the trouble for Hillary Clinton surely is that her whole political career, since she was First Lady, has been dogged by the behavior of her husband. And he gives evidence tomorrow, and there is much more evidence that he did have a relationship with Epstein. There are all those photos of him, that don't look good. Is it possible for Hillary Clinton not to be affected by the claims against Bill?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's a single person in the United States of America that doesn't have a strong opinion about Hillary Clinton at this point. So I think it's very unlikely that this or anything else is going to change that. But this is not about Hillary Clinton, and there's nothing that can.
Facts, ain't nothing going to change it. But let me see here. Yeah, but is she useful? That's the whole thing. I don't think she's too useful. There's loads of other people that are way more useful. And if you get stuck, and you don't have to like Hillary Clinton to see the point that she's probably not the most useful person to have testifying. Anywhere close. There's probably loads of people. Even if you hate her, you should still be able to realize there's loads of other people that should have been in there today outside of her. But let me see. I think they say Hillary Clinton was coming to speak, right? Did she speak? Yeah, she does speak. She's coming to speak here. She spoke. So let's see what this looks like. What, we go last and we go in the first row?
Well, we use our influence to make it wider.
It's not turning on.
Is there any point in turning on the windscreen on the box?
What's that?
Do you still think it's getting power?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not. Doesn't seem to be turning on. Anybody here? Can you test it again? Yeah. The committee left it. We get it.
You got a power supply for it?
Just string it right through here. Yeah. All right, I think they're coming right here. But I didn't see Hillary yet, but it says Hillary speaks after testifying. So maybe it's here, maybe it's not. Or maybe this is just Comer. Okay, I think it's just Comer, but let's see here.
All right, I want to thank everyone for standing out and braving the cold.
Oh, she does speak. She does speak. It's coming right after them. Here we go.
The position has concluded. It's a shame that it took 7 months to get Miss Clinton in. She answered most of our questions. I'm going to let some of my colleagues lament on that, but we're going to
E Junior, appreciate it, man. Got you.
not release too many details of what happened today.
Is it E Junior? Is that right?
We're going to try to get the video out as quickly as possible, hopefully within the next 24 hours. That's a very long deposition, so as quick as we can get that video produced, we will get that out. The transcript will be released as soon as her attorneys approve
Got you.
it. That's
Appreciate
the
it.
standard rules of a deposition, and I think that this was a productive deposition today. I think we learned a lot. There were a lot of questions that we asked that we weren't satisfied with the answers that we got, but we will continue to move forward.
We weren't satisfied with some of the questions, some of the answers we got. We weren't satisfied. Yeah, okay, exactly. All right, peace now.
Every member of the committee asked questions. And
I would just say one of the things I learned today is if you really have specific questions about the Clinton Global Initiative or the relationship between the Clintons and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, you got to ask Bill Clinton.
And that's a great point. The number of times.
So why did they call her then?
That she said, "I don't know. You'll have to ask my husband." Was more than a dozen, and I'll put it like that.
If I can,
Go ahead,
if I can just hop in. Also, too, I think it's important to note that we have been working in a bipartisan fashion to make this as painless as possible for the people that we're bringing in, but also to ensuring that there's accountability and transparency. You will hear a lot of spin, sometimes out of politicos in Washington, but the fact is that it's our goal and objective following this, and we also, too, did ask for follow-up from the Secretary on producing legislation that will help prevent this from ever happening again in the future, obviously working to combat trafficking, which has been a cause incredibly important, not just to myself, to Chairman Comer, to Representative Nancy Mace, but many members of this Oversight Committee. And so we are looking forward to continuing to provide that transparency. And Nancy, do you have anything?
First of all, I want to thank Secretary Clinton for being here for as many hours as she was here today. She took every question from every single member. I want to thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats alike, for being here today and asking questions. I very much look forward to speaking to her husband, former President Bill Clinton, tomorrow. We have a lot of work to do. Not surprised by some of the answers, surprised by some, and you'll get the transcript very soon, but I want to thank everyone who participated. This is nowhere near from over. And in making my notes today, I've got names of individuals that I believe we need to haul to the Oversight Committee and ask them questions, ask them their perspective ask them about other potential witnesses or victims or potential predators. I think this is going to go on for a long time. There are millions of files. There are a lot of people involved. And some of the gaps that have been seen, especially early on, are very evident after speaking with her today. And I just want to thank everyone for their time. And we have a lot of work to do, and I'm willing to work with anyone who's willing to work with me. I'll work with you on getting to the bottom of this, making sure that this just doesn't ever happen again. And when it does, those predators are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you.
So this is a nonpartisan issue. If you've read the Epstein files,
Sounds like there was no big ha gotcha moment. This is mild, basically.
evil in there, and the American people and the victims deserve transparency and accountability. The biggest thing I think we need to know is how do we strengthen laws to prevent human trafficking in America, if not the world? And how does someone...
You strengthen it by releasing the Epstein files. That's how. Isn't that the whole point? If you don't prosecute and dismantle and put the crimes and everyone involved in the light to be examined by the public, how do you stop sex trafficking? How do you stop espionage? How do you stop blackmail if you don't just put it out there in front for everyone to witness and see? It just seems
evil,
like a weird question. How do we do this?
How do we strengthen laws to prevent human trafficking in America, if not the world?
You got to understand how it works first before you can make laws that stop it. But if you don't examine the Epstein files, how do you know how it works? How does the public know what representatives to vote for to actually get something comprehensively done if they don't even get to see how it works?
And how does someone with such evil infiltrate the highest levels of the U.S. government and world leaders?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy because men put their dick out on the table and actually just go after little girls and accept it. Oh yeah, you throwing me a little girl? Hey, fuck it, I'll do it. I'll compromise my morals and my ethics and my oath to my country, and I'll just throw my dick on the table because some guys keeps offering me little girls. That's how. It's not complicated. That's how a honeypot works. When you have people with no ethics and morals, that's what it takes. They didn't know that. None of these men knew that's how it worked. Come on. No, they knew that's how it was working for a long time because Howard Lutnick said he knew how it was working. So this is, I mean, to me, it just sounds like playing dumb,
So we're going to continue to ask those questions about the world, and how does someone with such evil infiltrate the highest levels of the U.S. government and world leaders? So
keep your dick in your pants and it won't happen.
We're going to continue to ask those questions.
Excuse my language, y'all, but really, I mean, asking these questions
and get answers for the American people.
You got to be responsible for your private parts, man. That's how you deal with this. Be responsible.
We'll be happy to answer.
Chairman Palmer, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Clinton said
it's like saying, how do you deal with venereal disease? How do you do that? That's a mystery. How? Wear a goddamn condom. That's how. Don't stick your dick in everything. That's how. Choose, pick and choose. Don't just be like, I gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? It's like our country's in trouble if this is the leadership, like straight up.
in her opening statement, if Republicans were serious about investigating Jeffrey Epstein, that you would call President Trump to testify. Why won't you?
Well, President Trump.
Damn, that's a great question.
Secretary Clinton said in her opening statement, if Republicans were serious about investigating Jeffrey Epstein, that you would call President Trump to testify. Why won't you?
Well, President Trump has answered hundreds, if not thousands, of questions from you all about Epstein.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
And I think he's been very transparent in releasing the documents.
He's been very transparent in releasing the documents. He didn't release the documents.
We expect, hopefully, more documents to come in.
We expect, hopefully. That's not very transparent.
Still assessing the 3 million plus documents that we have. We obviously will be moving on to the next phase and bringing more people in for questions. So again, remember, this was a bipartisan subpoena by members of both parties to bring in Ms. Clinton. And it's just a shame that it took 7 months. And I know every member of our committee has a big list of names they want to.
When the Epstein files going to be released? Oh, it's a shame that it takes so long for the Epstein files to be released. The law was passed. It was signed. They've missed the date on releasing the files. They have not followed the law. When are they going to follow the law?
Bring in. These are big, powerful people that hire very skilled law
Gaslighting.
firms.
We know they're big, powerful people. That's how they got compromising information on all you motherfuckers. But when are you going to act like it's serious?
And they delay, and you know, part of when you delay in this investigation, it takes 7 months to bring a witness in like it did.
Why did you wait 7 months for Hillary Clinton? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Just release the files. The files speak for themselves. Then you call people in. Why do you want to call people in before the files are released? You don't have all the right questions because you don't have access to all the right files. That doesn't make sense.
Today, that creates a problem. So we're trying to move as quickly as we can. We're obviously following what's going on in the United Kingdom now. We're following, everything. I know that there are a lot of eyes, and hopefully the media will play a role in this. The media has a role. The documents have been made public. We're going to continue to fight for more redactions. There are some names who are redacted. I think we all agree shouldn't be redacted. I don't think they're who you think they are. So that's why we want those names.
Chairman, if I could just...
Yeah, Moby Rockstar wrote an article for the Rolling Stone and asked why so many Russians are at Trump parties. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why are they there? Blackmail? Espionage? Honeypots? Sounds like it.
Follow up on that, though. We asked specifically the victims, and we were all there, as well as the Speaker and the Democrat members of Congress, if the president was involved, and they exonerated him. So why would we bring in the president of the United States?
Hold on.
Who's been exonerated,
What?
cooperated with
What?
they
What?
all there. To follow up on that, though, we asked specifically the victims, and we were all there, as well as the Speaker and the Democrat members of Congress, if the president was involved, and they exonerated him.
No, that's not true. No, that's not true. And in fact, they're pretending like they don't even hear when people accuse him. Look at this. That right there is a flat out lie. Who did they not ask now? Who have they haven't asked Sasha Riley, right? Let me see here. Where's Sasha Riley at? Here he is right here. They haven't asked him, right? What is he saying about Trump to describe what he says happened to him at the hands of Trump? They haven't talked to him. Sasha Riley says that Trump assaulted him multiple times when he was between the ages of 8 and 12. Him and Epstein. That's what Sasha Riley says. He says that publicly. Here is the link. Everyone should hear it. Hold these people accountable because this is what they said. The limo driver. Exactly. The limo driver. Trump's limo driver said that he was told by a girl who was dead, who's dead now, right? Who they actually say was found with her head blown off. And the police say it couldn't have been a suicide. There's plenty of people that name Trump. They just seem to never want to talk to the people that name Trump. Katie Johnson. Let me see here. I mean, it doesn't matter if Katie Johnson doesn't want to talk now. She said this. How can you just unhear what Katie Johnson says about Trump? How's that possible? It just doesn't make sense.
So I wore that wig, and I mean because I was I was so young, and I was also a virgin. So I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't really into having girls. He knew that I was 13, and the girls that did that, like that slipped himself inside of me, and I pushed him away, and I said, I'm, because at that point in time, I still believed that there was models, and then there was the girls that did that. Like I thought there was a separation. So, I told him that I wasn't interested in that, but he said that I would do. And as far as Donald Trump, he knew that I was 13, and I believe that Tiffany told him he seemed to take a liking to me because I was I was so young, and I was also a virgin. So I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't really into having girls that were liked by the other guys. He kind of, the whole glove thing. He kind of liked things to be his first. If that, for lack of a better term, but he was the one who wanted to get to a girl before everyone else did. Donald Trump knew that I was 13 because the first night that I was there, Tiffany actually suggested that she had a whole bunch of different wigs, and I expressed interest in them. I always told her that I would love to walk around with blue hair, and so I tried some on, and there was a blonde wig that she said that looked great on me. So I wore that wig, and Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter, and she said, well, she's 13 as well. So
why is this woman, right, of all people, I'm not saying that men don't do this too, but why is this woman up here saying this? Like, sorry, but this is bullshit. And I'm sure there's plenty of women that would be offended by what she's saying here. Listen.
To follow up on that, though, we asked specifically the victims, and we were all there, as well as the Speaker and the Democrat members of Congress, if the president was involved, and they exonerated him.
And they exonerated him? Did Katie Johnson exonerate him? No. Katie Johnson has never exonerated Donald J. Trump. She made this deposition and then she disappeared, but she never exonerated him. She never took these words back. And this woman has to know that. She has to know. And if she doesn't know, she is extremely misinformed about the obvious that anyone can find out if they want to know. Yeah. This is just another case of American people shouldn't expect much out of their tax dollars. You don't have you pay the taxes, you pay for the military, all federal taxes, payroll dollars, 70% come out of payroll taxes that every American pays. You pay for the military. Yeah. You pay for the government to even exist, to even function. That's 100% taxpayer dollars. This is the best you get for your tax dollars. This is the best you get. Are you tired of it yet? Is this this is a reflection of how you feel about yourself? If you accept this, this is a reflection of how highly you think of yourself or not highly. Is this the best you deserve? Is this the best you can get? Any case, y'all, I'm out of here. I'll be back. I'll see you guys in 8 hours from now, approximately. No, 7 hours from now. Be good, everybody. I appreciate everyone for showing up and continuing the progress with this, and just we're gonna see how it goes. But I will get back to y'all in 8 hours. I want everybody to have a good evening tonight. Have a good day. Appreciate y'all. 1. Fuck Trump. Impeach Trump.
They want war. Crying babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every crew. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. reality, see. They don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. And I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink. But I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear. But they won't cause the TVs whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't hear. And they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. I know how to see a whack MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds. Open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do, so sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people, people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far, but evil that lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin, but then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes, and plus we make fat beats. Yo, we smoke weed, break up trees. Listen, bringing fat beats, that is our mission. You wanted to to see us, homeboy. Shut up and listen. Thelonious and Big Bennett, brother, check the vision. Mentalities of different realities. Enter the Star Trek room when you hear the boom. I be the Walkman with the super bass. Automatic stop, yes, stereo cassette player. With the delayer, freaky lyrical sprayer. Extraterrestrial rhyme sayer. I be the poetical VIC/master of the ceremony. Tenderoni, won't you come step with me? I'm on a historical journey, kinda like Sigourney. Implore me to represent the attorney that represents my niggas. Go figure, here's the card. They call me Uncle Bigger. Niggas love your blunts, down your liquors. I be the parallel to the fiction. You're fixated on this brother's nature. Relaxed behavior, I might save your change. Flip it, rearrange. The whole concept, yo, is good for all your brain. Insane, psychotic, neurotic, black onyx, and hooked on phonics. Just atomic, bees like a bonnet. Cut with the Asiatic, they all up on it. Rhyme static with the Bugatti type of skill. You wonder, is this nigga Vic really for real? It's still, but only necessary in the berry. I'm milk like dairy, they quite contrary. That's scary, but I'm a dog in the prairie. I scurry to grab my bones and just bury. Lyrical flurry, go get your secretary with impeccable dictions. My style might vary, so get a hold of your own shit real fast. Fucking with us, we take it right out your ass. Prairie dogs chill while the other dogs howl. Too many dogs get sent to the pound. Back on the hill, me and my peeps just lounge. Prairie dogs, we keep it on the down. Spot out, don't like gun splatter. We try to climb the ladder, wicked men get better. They make it like splatter, but it really don't matter. Cause you know we coming back to our sons and our daughters. Father him the one who protects ya, and the mother she will never neglect ya. Through divine nature the people respect ya, and in this way I deliver my lecture. Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers be living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the project center rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my nigga Paulo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gat, ayo niggas gots to go. No show is live with narrate, fuck Memorex. My nigga Rollo's got a gat at Paulo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid, it sounds like a fucking lie. The struggle goes on, people try to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist. Mass confusion, people living in delusion, justify all the bullshit through the Constitution. Meanwhile, the masses struggle to survive. I think we're too busy to hear our people's cries. Singles mothers struggle to raise families. Genocide committed through famine and disease. I wonder if these things will ever cease to exist. I know it could if we cease and desist. Giving all the power to the industrialists, giving all our power to the damn commercialists. They see us just as being sheep in this world. that want us to do what we're told, like boys and girls. Oh God, I wanna live another day so I can help provide equality and this yes, day. You know, the struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Everybody round the globe, open up your earlobe, your third eye, and then decipher the code. Through knowledge, understanding, then bring love into the concept instead of bling bling. Truth instead of biased educational methods, twisting, contorting God's message of love for every human being. Listen, motherfucker, don't you hear the screams? It's time to do much more than talk, debate, and spread hate. We need to think and at the same time investigate, understand what our actions may create. Before continuing the cycle we procreate, we can clone humans, but at the same time we can't feed humans. The future of man is actually looming. It's really depressing, it's true. And yes, you know the struggle goes on. People trying to